Over the bridge! Fly!
Hey Saber fans, welcome back to another awesome lightsaber reveal. So this is a Balrog inspired lightsaber from the Lord of the Rings series, specifically the first one in the series, the Fellowship of the Ring. If you haven't seen that movie, the whole series, obviously I highly recommend checking them out. But this is, the Balrog is the gigantic character that faces off against Gandalf in the Mines of Moria. So I've actually looked into doing this one in the past, kind of off the cuff, just wanted to make it. So he's such a cool character, very memorable in the movie. Anytime those movies come on, it doesn't matter what movie it is, what scene it is in the series, I'll always stop and definitely just get sucked into watching it again. It's just amazing fantasy series. If you've never read the books, definitely recommend picking those up and checking those out as well. Definitely a long read, but pretty awesome. But the movies are just, they're really kind of spot on. But I wanted to do actually a Balrog one in the past, but it just so happened I never got around to doing it, and a customer wanted one, so it was great timing. So I took up the commission, and this is kind of what I came up with here. When I was looking at the character and trying to figure out how to make a saber based around a character like him, he's just this big, massive, he's got horns and flames and fire. It was really more came down to the paint job that I wanted with it. So you can see this is a little different technique I did with this one. So you have this red up here, a little bit like a lava effect, and then it just comes down to the horns and then to the pommel as well. But I definitely wanted his horns incorporated in here. Really came out awesome. I don't think I would be able to do this with the FDM printer. So this was printed with my resin, which really just makes these amazing details. Hopefully I can get the camera to pick those up, because it just really came out super cool. Tons of different layers of paint in here as well. You have a black with a silver wash, and then a gold wash over top of it, and then the red on the horns and these other areas here in the top and the pommel, kind of around these scales area. I did this red as well, and then washed it so to kind of give this burnt lava red effect to it. Inside, of course, we have the Proffie 2.2 chassis with our magnetic switch here, so you can remove that, and then you can get full access to the chassis. Did a Balrog inspired sound font with this, of course, to go with the saber. So let's take a look a little more closely here, see what we did with this one. Like I said, I hope all these details kind of come up here on the camera, because it really came out amazing, the paint here. So you can see up here I did the red, and then it washes around all the way around the emitter area. Did these cool grooves up here, give it a little neat effect. You have our retention screw for the blade. Of course, it is a full NeoPixel setup. And then you can see right here, you can see all the cool transitions between the silver and the black wash into this gold. Got some pitted there, some pitted marks to add to a little bit of damage. How I figured the Balrog would look in a saber-esque form. And the really cool thing with making these sabers too is you're mixing these two universes, which would never come together in any way, but it's really neat to be able to have this idea of mixing these two together. A lightsaber inspired by another fictional character from an amazing series. It's just really cool to be able to do. So I always appreciate it when, especially when a customer comes and asks me to make something like that for him. So you can see down here I have the red. Now this was an airbrush paint I recently picked up, and it actually looks very orange when you paint it on there, which is perfect because when you weather it down, it makes it kind of pop in the background here, and just kind of just shines through just a little bit there. So down to the horns. Really love the way these horns came out. It has a great texture to it. Looks totally like bone, just like the ones, just like the character in the movie. These are actually really pretty close to what it looks like on the character. Took this off of a skull, and of course just modified it because his horns kind of come down, loop around, and come back in a little bit, but it was a little too much. I didn't want it flaring out too much. I wanted to keep it closer to the switch area. And then just did all these different grooves in here too. These spikes that just kind of just wrap around here all over the place. Really just cool with the dimensions. Actually did a little engraving back here around the retention screw for the chassis. Hit it with some Dremel. See it there just a little bit. A little hard to pick that up, but add a little bit extra. And just tons of dimension here, and yeah, I love the way the switch came out. You can see there in the horns, a little bit of that red and the gold. The camera doesn't do it justice. It just looks so much better in person. I think the customer's really gonna love this one. I know I do. Down to an authentic black leather wrap. There's a little bit of this texture in here. Super soft too. And down to the pommel. See that red and that gold. Give this scaled look to it. It was very fitting. And down to the sound holes there. Alright. So let's fire this up here. You can tell that's Gandalf, where he's battling the Balrog. So let's throw a blade in here so you can check out a little bit more of the sound font with the blade in there. And of course I did a custom blade style with this. Had to go with a flame with this one, so let's check that out. Alright, so we have our blade installed here, super easy. Just going to install the blade here through the emitter, push it down against the pogo pins, and then just tighten down that retention screw. So let's fire it up here. Like I said, of course we have to go with a fire blade. So as you swing this as well, you'll get highlights throughout the blade. You have blaster effects, all the good ones that come with the Proffie board. Lock up, and as you move the saber around, you'll get the lock-up effect that will go up and down. Another cool thing with this fire blade effect is as you tilt the saber, the blade effect will slowly go down into the blade, down towards the saber itself. Really gives this cool, as if you're holding a torch. First we have our backtracks. And you can still fire up the saber. And how cool was that? Like you're playing in the movie. Alright, so thank you for stopping by and taking a look at this amazing Balrog Saber. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, stop by, like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this one as much as I enjoyed showcasing it for you. So as always, take care. Until next time, God bless.